This video will cover AWS tagging strategies. Now, we've referred to tagging as a great way to organize your metadata for different resources in different videos, but I'd like to take a moment to talk about tagging best practices. AWS allows customers to assign metadata to their AWS resources in the form of tags. Each tag is a simple label consisting of a customer-defined key and an optional value that can make it easier to manage, search for, and filter resources. Although there are no inherent types of tags, they enable customers to categorize resources by purpose, owner, environment, or other criteria. One best practice is to always use a standardized, case-sensitive format for tags and implement it consistently across all resource types. Second, you should consider tag dimensions that support the ability to manage resource access control, cost tracking, automation, and organization. Next, you should implement automated tools to help you manage your resource tags. If this is something you're interested in looking into, I highly suggest you look at the Resource Groups Tagging API, which enables programmatic control of tags, making it easier to automatically manage, search, and filter tags in resources. It also simplifies backups of tag data across all supported services with a single API call per AWS region. Also, when in doubt, err on the side of using too many tags rather than too few tags. Additionally, you should remember that it is easy to modify tags to accommodate changing business requirements. However, consider the ramifications of future changes, especially in relation to tag-based access control, automation, or upstream billing reports. The following shows a few examples of tags that you might be able to use in your AWS environment. For technical tags, some great suggestions are name, application ID, application role, cluster, environment, and version. That being said, you also have applicable tags for automation, business, and security. This diagram and other helpful resources can be found in AWS's Tagging Strategies documentation. Another great strategy is using tags for cost allocation. AWS Cost Explorer and detailed billing reports support the ability to break down AWS costs by tag. Typically, customers use business tags such as Cost Center, Business Unit, or something similar to associate AWS costs with traditional cost allocation dimensions. However, a cost allocation report can include any tag. This allows customers to easily associate costs with technical or security dimensions, such as specific applications, environments, or compliance programs. To enable cost allocation tags, it's as simple as going to your dashboard, going to Cost Allocation Tags, and then activating. And then any cost allocation tag you want to see in your report, all you have to do is click it and activate it. As we've mentioned, an effective tagging strategy uses standardized tags and implements them consistently and programmatically across AWS resources. Customers use both reactive and proactive approaches for governing the use of tags in their AWS environments. Reactive governance is used to identify improper tags, programmatically using tools such as the Resources Group Tagging API, AWS config rules, and custom scripts, or manually using tag editor and detailed billing reports. Proactive governance leverages tools such as AWS CloudFormation, AWS Service Catalog, or IAM resource level permissions to ensure standardized tags are consistently applied at resource creation. For example, you can use the AWS CloudFormation resource tags property to apply tags to certain resource types. In AWS Service Catalog, you can add portfolio and product tags that are combined and applied to a provisioned product automatically when it's launched. More rigorous forms of proactive governance include automated tasks. For example, using the Resource Groups Tagging API to regularly scan an AWS environment's tags, or running scripts to quarantine or delete improperly tagged resources. The most suitable governance approach for a company primarily depends on its AWS maturity model. Reactive governance typically works the best for customers who have not fully developed a tagging standard or who are not yet ready to proactively enforce a tagging strategy across their company. Proactive governance works well for more mature companies, especially those that can incorporate a tagging strategy with other standardization efforts, such as standardized environment builds using AWS CloudFormation or AWS Service Catalog. The last thing I'd like to touch on is using tags for access control. IAM policies support tag-based conditions, enabling customers to constrain IAM permissions based on specific tags or tag values. For example, IAM user or role permissions can include conditions to limit EC2 API calls to specific environments, or Amazon Virtual Private Cloud networks based on their tags. Support for tag-based resource-level IAM permissions is service-specific. When leveraging tag-based conditions for access control, make sure to also define or restrict who can modify those tags. And that'll wrap it up for our video on AWS tagging strategies. So if all of that makes sense, feel free to move on.